Hi friends, it's Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner. I am here actually not to talk about soccer, but to talk about Big Brother stitching. So I am still doing stitching for the World Cup. There's been so much required stitching that it has been impossible to film and do stitching at the same time. And then, so now I've got a huge backlog and to share with you guys, not of filming anything, but of projects to show you guys. So that is going to be its own video and its own thing. It's 2 a.m. So what better time to film a video than 2 a.m., right? So Big Brother, I'm not a huge fan of the show. I watch it occasionally. I rarely made it to the end of the season, usually because the people I like get eliminated, and then it's just a bunch of people I don't like. I much more prefer shows like Hell's Kitchen and things like that, but I can't think of a stitching challenge for Hell's Kitchen. If anyone can think of one, like a stitching game, that I could watch a season of Hell's Kitchen and stitch challenge-wise for it, please let me know your ideas down below, because I would greatly prefer that, or Amazing Race, or perhaps even Survivor. But a lot of those are like one team wins. And it's not like Big Brother where you've got head of household and nominations, and at least not on Amazing Race. There might be a little bit of that on Survivor, but it's still not so much individualized in the way that, like, you get to the island or wherever it's going to be, and you're separated into the 2 teams or whatever, and it's like, then there's the competition and the one team wins. So do I assign a project to the 2 teams and then also assign to each individual person? And when you're eliminated, you get stitched for. If you're not, like, for every vote that you get so many, or like if you win immunity, you get something. I don't know. But that's Survivor, which is actually the last one of the 3 I named. Hell's Kitchen is my favorite. Then probably Amazing Race, and then Survivor. So it's just Jessie Marie came up with Big Brother. It makes sense to me. And so even though I don't particularly love the show, it's fun to do the stitching aspect. And like, yeah. So I have a Big Brother little notebook. I assign projects to each of the contestants, and with the competition like starting and there being like head of households and things like that, I thought I would go over the projects with each person that they're assigned to. If I'm feeling ambitious, I'll put a picture of each contestant up when I mention them, but you know, 50-50 if that happens. Anyway, so I went with the stitch counts that Jessie Marie put on her video from like a year ago. I don't know if she's doing it again this year or anything like that. I just referenced the video from last year. These stitch counts I might have to adjust for myself, because it's a lot. And like, perhaps I could do it, but I'm also still trying to do soccer stitching, and I am also doing Tour de France stitching, and so I might need to adjust them. For example, head of household, so whoever wins the head of household competition is supposed to get a daily 100 stitch. I'm just going to call it 700 stitches, but honestly, I'm debating lowering it to 500. The evicted house guest is supposed to get 500 stitches. I'm debating lowering that to 300. Veto winner is supposed to get 300. I'm debating lowering that to 200 maybe. I don't know. The replacement nominee So each nominated person is supposed to get 200 stitches. There are 3 nominated house guests each week. So already, okay, let me just go over the amounts and then we'll math it together. The veto winner gets 300 if there's a replacement nominee, which there isn't always. That's 150 stitches. The BB Blockbuster winner, which is the 3 nominated house guests, they compete, and then there's one winner, and that winner gets to be taken down off of the block, and they're not up for nomination. So people are only voting on the 2 house guests. But anyways, the winner of that gets 100 stitches. The evicted house guest is 500. Excuse me. And then if there's any special competitions in the week, the winner of that gets 100. So on the first week already, there was 3 special competitions, and there's been 1 episode out. So there was 3 special competitions and 1 winner in each of them. So that's already like 300 additional stitches. But so if we do the head of household, that's 700 stitches. The 3 nominated, that's an additional 600, which brings us to 1,300. The veto winner is another 300, so that's 1,600. Replacement nominee is 1,500, so that brings us to 1,750. Plus the BB Blockbuster brings us to 1,850. And then the evicted house guest brings us to 2,350, plus if there's any extra competitions. So right now already for this first week, it's 2,650, which for me is perhaps a bit too much. I don't know. I am on summer break, but I am also trying to do World Cup stitching. So we're going to play it by ear, perhaps adjust some things a little bit. Yeah, so you will see. Okay. So, excuse me. I have the projects in 2 bags here. This is actually a C's Candy gift bag. My husband bought me some chocolate and it was put in this bag, and I was like, yeah, I'll keep it. Anyways, this should be in order by, so what I did was I listed the contestants in alphabetical order. I put the 17 projects that I don't already have assigned to other stitching competitions or things like that. Like, they're not planned for my soccer stitching. They weren't used in the World Cup. I'm not using it in the Tour de France. I don't have it listed for temperature stitching. So I took 17 of those projects and assigned them to people. So, then I put those in a randomizer, and they got assigned to the contestants. Sorry. With one exception, and I will explain the exception when we get there. I did assign one specific project to one specific person, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so Angela got assigned Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. This is a project I have barely started. I am working on border stitching, and that is because I find 40 count very difficult to stitch on, but luckily I now have this and it has made it a lot easier, but I haven't found a reason to stitch on this project. So here is where we are at. So I am stitching the border of block number 2, but I finally have threads. Now, I thought I had ordered these are NPI silks, so they're very expensive, so I didn't order them all at once. And I thought I had ordered the colors for block number 1, but I think I accidentally ordered the colors for block number 4, the one that I am currently stitching the outline for, because I think that was the page that was on top when I was looking at it, and I think that I just accidentally did that. So I may be stitching this block first. So that is very quite annoying. But what I do need to do, I'm going to cover this. For the most part, it covers it. So each page of the pattern, so the pattern for each block is up here, and then it has the colors listed that are in that block. So what I need to do, because I ordered the number of skeins that the pattern called for, I just limited it to the ones in that. So I need to go through all the pages and highlight off the colors that I have so that I know what other blocks I can work on, what colors remain that I need to purchase. The reason I bought all that was like the number that was called for to begin with is that I didn't want any dye lot problems. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I'm not actually that sleepy. It's just I'm talking. I like this picture that shows each individual block. I think that's really cool. I was trying to find the page that shows the colors and like if I needed multiple of them. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh. Maybe that page doesn't actually exist and it's just in my head, which is, you know, entirely possible. Our sampler was stitched on 40 count. Please note the symbols on the... Yeah, so the only one that needed 2 skeins was the black color. So I wanted to go through and highlight the colors that I do have so that I don't double order a color because that's just wasteful. But yeah. So I thought putting this in the challenge would give me an excuse to work on it again. Where'd the fabric go? Jeez Louise. It would give me an excuse to work on it again, because I really like that. So again, this is for Angela. And Angela is actually a returning house guest. So there's three special people, I guess you could say. 2 were on Survivor and 1 is a returning house guest. And so Angela is one of the returning house guests. And if I remember, I'll mention the 2 that were on Survivor. But I might not remember. I've mainly watched the older seasons of those shows. I haven't really watched newer seasons. So anyway, okay. So for Ashley, I chose the Circus Sow by Frosted Pumpkin. If I end up stitching up to where it's at, I will just slot in another Frosted Pumpkin project until a new part is released, just in case that happens. But I've not even started it yet. There are 2 parts out thus far. So, yeah, I am looking forward to starting this. And I do have little needle minder that goes with it. And I put this in a project bag that's like a crossword love puzzle because I'm planning on making this for my husband. So he's sleeping, so hopefully he doesn't hear me talking about that. It might be a little too cutesy for him. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be okay. Anyways, so for the contestant named Barrett, I have the Advent Animals from Brooks Books. If I end up changing a project out, it might be this one. Not because I don't love it, but I'm just not sure I'm in the mood for working on all of these. But anyways, okay, I have 2 finished. So we've got number 1 and number 2, both super cute. And I have number 3 started. Just a little mouse. I have this, like, I bought this years ago when I bought this project. Like, I have all the fabric cut out for each of the pieces. Like, I started these so long ago. I don't know what my problem is, which is in part why I put this here in this challenge. Okay, again, that's for Barrett. For Chuck, and this guy is really kind of an interesting character. He is like, he describes himself as coming from a Nigerian family that lives in Texas, and he has embraced cowboy. And that is just very interesting. I am kind of debating putting a patriotic project for him. I have one that is for another contestant, and I might just switch those two. But anyways, what the randomizer assigned to him is Minnie Jane in The Prisoner of Wool House. You cannot find this anymore on Heaven and Earth Designs. I've looked. I mean, I could be wrong. It's so cute. Yeah, well, I'm not sure cute's the right word. It's pretty. It's moody. I don't know what the right word is, honestly. I've not worked on this in years. Now, I think I got it all marked up sufficiently on Markup RXP. So we're going to give it a go. This is what I've done on it. And I am thinking of converting it to the typewriter method. I do have something on my needle, so I would finish that out. But, I mean, just take care of these ones that are remaining and just work across the top. I've been enjoying the typewriter method, and so what I might do different on this one, though, is because this is 20 by 20 blocks, I might choose the symbols in the full 20 by 20 block instead of doing the 10 by 10. I might do 20 by 20, which would make it a little bit different than my other ones, but we'll see. We will see. So that is Chuck with Minnie Jane and A Prisoner of Wool House. Am I putting that in the right spot? No, I am not. Okay. The next one is for Dee. Now, she is a contestant from Survivor. She is apparently a Survivor winner. So, and what got assigned to her is Main Street Sal from Country Cottage Needleworks. Now, this is one I really love, but I am continually forgetting I own this project And so, when I was scrolling through my list of projects spreadsheet, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to put that on. Now, I don't have an image of what this whole project will look like. I believe it's 5 on top and then 5 below. I am working on the second. It just gives me Gilmore Girl vibes. I've worked the top motif all the way across, and the reason I did that is because I originally ordered this on an auto ship club, and they sent me the wrong size. And this is in part why I have a little bit of a sour taste with this project. They sent me the wrong size fabric, and I'd already done stitching on it. And then by the time they sent me the right size, which they didn't charge me for another piece of fabric, they sent me the correct size. But another part or two was out, and so I was behind. And this was like, I was doing it when this project was coming out. I was newer to this kind of cross stitch. Before, I'd only ever really done kits, and I'd never really done stitch alongs, and so I didn't realize that getting behind is not really a big deal, but it put a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and so I just backburnered it, you could say. But I look at this project and I'm like, girl, I love this project. Okay, so like here we are. The first one is a flower shop and it's so stinking cute. This one's a bookstore. I think the next one might be a gazebo. I could be wrong, but I think it's a gazebo that's next. And it's so cute. And so there was a part of me at one point that was tempted to like design a road and put it in between so that it was like 2 sides of the street. I don't know. I think that now that I think about that, that's probably a dumb idea, but I don't know. Anyways, this one is assigned to D, and she is apparently like a super contestant from Survivor, and so I'm really hoping that that means I will get a lot of stitches from her. Okay, let me see. I do have them all right here. There are only 2 specialty flosses, and I have quite a bit, way more than I'm gonna need, because they sent me those 2 same colors with every single pattern part, even though you're definitely not gonna need 10 skeins. But anyways, so here's the flower shop. That was the first one. I'm so sorry about Claire, but I'm not taking each of these out. Here's the bookstore that I'm working on, and I think that this one's taking longer because changing colors for all those books is a bit tedious, not gonna lie. Yeah, next is the gazebo. Come on, you can't tell me this is not Gilmore Girl vibes. A coffee shop, and look, it's like an orange building. I love that. Then it's a gallery. So this is that's the top 5 in the row. And then the next one, so it would be directly under the first one. So we continue on with the blue theme from the last house. So it's gonna, like, the colors are gonna go in reverse order now. And so this one is a dress shop. Then we have a cafe, orange. Then we have a grocery store, and this is going to be under the gazebo, and I just think that pink building is so cute. Then we're back to yellow, and it's the post office. And then the last one is the bakery. And that just looks like a cute little town that I would love to live in. And yeah, I really want to work on this one. So D, I'm going to need you to win a lot so I can stitch on this a lot. Saying that, she'll probably be eliminated first or something. Actually, she can't, because the 3 house guests that were from like Survivor and then the one returning one, I don't think they can be put up for elimination this week. because they were the only 3 that could compete for head of household. So I don't think any of them can be nominated and eliminated, but I could be wrong. They have not yet aired the head of household competition. So far there's been 2 episodes. Well, 1 episode and then a like behind the scenes episode that's 2 past contestants that talk about stuff. So anyways, this is a lot of like blathering. Okay, Drew. Don't remember if he's the other contestant. There's one more male contestant, and I just don't remember which one it is. That was from Survivor. No, it wasn't Drew. Anyways, he got assigned Once Upon a Time sampler. To be honest, I don't want to work on this. But again, if I'm going to replace something, this might be it. There were some other projects I was looking at, but they're like, I need to get this one done. And yeah, I'm barely started. So it's either going to be a present for my niece or it's going to be for the library. And I just need to get it worked on and completed. Haley, I put pedal pusher, and the reason is that I have several smaller pedal pusher projects that I started years ago, and they need to be worked on. So I'm going to pick one at a time and work on them until they're finished or Haley's eliminated or whatever. So I'm going to show them to you really quick. And I did not include the Sense and Sensibility sampler that I am doing for Spain in this, because that is its own thing. So we have Tea with Jane, and I love that one, but I am working on a fabric that I gave myself very little margin space at all. And so I kind of usually have to stitch it in hand, and I hate stitching in hand. It gives me hand cramps. But I have this Jane Austen needle minder on there. Isn't she so pretty? Anyway, yeah, I need to work on this. I love it. My idea for this is to turn it into a project bag. I haven't decided yet between a like knitting one or a cross stitch one, but I have a lot of projects that I plan on turning into project bags. Probably once we move in a couple years, when I can have more space to put a sewing machine. This room is just chaos, to be honest. My sewing machine lives up there, covered, and I just never have the space to put it out here. Anyways, Little Women, excuse the very bad printing. And for some reason, I mean, I started these before I was even married, so this was like 8 years ago. But anyways, for some reason, I was like, yeah, let's put it on this pink fabric. I'm trying to see which way. Yeah, it goes like this. Yep, pink fabric. There's the little windows of the house, and that's all I've done on it so far. I think I got this in a Stitchy box. Yes, I did. Stitchy box. It's a 32 count Joblin. The colorway is raspberry, and it's from Witchold. And I think I just had very little stash at the time, fabric stash. And I had this, and I was like, well, why not? It fits. So there we go. It's a 9x9 fabric, so I don't know what else I was going to use it with for it. So, okay. This is another very small start on a, don't know why I chose this fabric, except for I'm guessing I didn't have another option. I mean, I think it'll be pretty, but like, I don't know what I think sometimes. I'm holding it upside down. This is a Longbourn. I think I had actually planned this fabric for another project, so I stole it for this. It is 28 count Crystal Dwarf Lugana from Picture This Plus, and it is an 8 by 12 piece. And that is what I've done of it. So the door to the house, great progress. I mean, look at this. These are not going to take so very long. I don't know why I do this. And the last one to share with you, and I do have a few more of hers in my Dropbox that I haven't started yet because I was like, girl, finish the ones that you have started before you start those. But I have like an Alice in Wonderland's teacup one that's so cute. But anyways, so, oh my gosh, this one. Pride and Prejudice. And it's like little cameos. Is it called cameos? Anyways. I got this piece of fabric for free at a cross stitch night. And apparently I decided to be a little bit wasteful, which always irritates me when I look at it. But, I mean, come on, there is not much stitching left on this one. I might actually start with this one because there's not much stitching left. I need to, like, the words are all done. I need to do the frames and then the little people in them. And that is not a ton. Not a ton. So disappointed in myself sometimes. Anyways. I also, this summer, really want to go through all of my projects and make sure they're all actually in my spreadsheet because I know they're not. And so then I would get an accurate accounting of what's in there. I need to move the full coverage projects that I put into UFO status or even temporary UFO status and move them to a separate spreadsheet, like a separate sheet on the spreadsheet that's just temporary UFO, so that I can get a count and get a better idea what's going on and kind of update that. Anyways, let's see. Pedal pusher goes right here. Okay. So next up we have Jason, and his project is Wonderland from Brooks Books. I think I rearranged them in a way that made me happier. I don't remember the way it originally came, but I do know that I cut out the little pieces and taped them how I wanted them. So here we go. And I think because I did that, I am nervous about this piece because I'm not convinced I lined things up properly or anything like that. And so yeah. I've done the border for the top row. And I am working on, it goes this way. I am working on doing this line of stitches here. That's like the top of, or the bottom of grass or something like that. So I'm working on finishing crossing them all the way across. And that's what I've done. I've not actually started any of the characters because, you know, I'm worried I messed up. So I was like, what are the things that are the same for all of them? So you can't really see here, but focus. There's like this grass motif that they're each standing on. I might tackle that next because it's probably the same on all of them. I don't know. I need to actually start doing the characters like Alice. And I love this fabric that it's on. I think it's perfect. I don't remember what it's called. I do think it was the recommended one. Here's a better view of what Alice looks like. So, Anyway, I need to stop being scared of it and just do it. And it's cross stitch. Like, if you mess up, it's not a big deal. Jeez Louise. Okay. So again, that one is for Jason. And then the last one in this bag is for Camus. I honestly don't even remember this person, so they might be going by something else. I need to look into that. But I assigned them, or the wheel did, Victorian House from Nora Corbett. This is what it will look like. And here is where I'm at. And actually, before I start that, this is the first piece of fabric that they had sent me from Main Street Sal. So that's how much I had done. And I was like, that is supposed to fit 5 houses, and that's more than a quarter of the fabric. And that's when I like measured and I wrote them. And yeah, I had started to try to take out the stitches, but I just never finished. So I need to do that so that I can have access to the other half of the fabric. But here's where we're starting from on this one. And I really like this one. I want to get the rest in the series, but I want to actually finish it before I do more. Oh my gosh, there's a little stain on here, but I think it's going to get stitched over, so we won't freak out yet. But anyways, so that's kind of my plan with this whole series, is to finish one, buy another, work on that, so on and so forth. Okay. Now to the next bag. Okay, so the next one is Latrice. And I put Mini Village Bookstore for this one by Randall Spangler. Here's a very worn printout copy of what it will look like. Now, this is a restart for me. I'm pretty sure I just threw away the other one because normally I keep them in the same bag, but I can't find it. But anyways, so with this restart, I decided to do the whole top row and like park the threads. So like kind of like typewriter method, but with parking the threads. I've decided I do not like it with parking the threads. So my plan is to go in and work those threads. But, so I did make the width of the fabric. I didn't finish all of the 10 by 10 blocks on this side. But yeah, so I think whenever this one comes up, I will just, when I have parked threads, I like to go from the bottom, so the lowest one on the right, and work that. It's just that way always seems to get the least in my way. So I'll like move up. Hang on. I'll like take all of the parked threads and move them up. And then I take like, in this case, I would take this thread right here and I would work that in. I see a lot of people always go to the top left of the 10 by 10 square for parked threads. And I'm like, but then you have to work amongst your other parked threads. With the way I do it, those are always moved out of my way and I never have to stitch amongst them because it's always the lowest one in the square. So that's how I prefer to do it. And I never see people explain it that way. So I wonder, like, do other people do it that way? Or am I just weird? I don't know. So, yeah. I am happy to get back to this one. I don't think I have it on markup RXP, so I need to put it in and highlight it, like what I've done, so that it's just easier to work with. But yeah, I'm really excited to work on this one again. After that, we have Lyric. And her project is Linen and Threads Mystery. I think this is last year's. I think it's the Faith, Hope, and Love one. I could be wrong. But I am doing this on a fabric that I coffee tea dyed ages ago. And I am using, I don't know what DMC this is, but I have a whole cone of it. It's like a turquoise color. Anyways, it looks really nice on the fabric. This is another one that I am debating changing out for a full coverage because I'm just into full coverage right now, which is weird because I haven't been for so long. But I have to remind myself that my whole Bundesliga soccer stitching is full coverage, so leave these ones as the non-full coverage ones so they get some work. But anyways, so as you can see, I didn't do much. I do have the whole pattern though. I need to put it in markup RXP, cross off what I've done, and then keep working. Now that it's all released, I don't have to worry about parts coming out each month. So I was debating between two different ones. The other one I was debating, I'm stitching 1/1 on 28 count, and I just decided that I have a 40 count in here. My eyes cannot take doing two of them, so on low counts. So that one was out, and this one was in. But there is this project full coverage one that I barely started called Frosty, and it is a dog. I think it's meant to be a Maltese, but it looks like my little Multi-Poos, and I just saw it when I was going through my bins, and I was like, oh, I really want to work on this. So I don't know, one of these might go and that might show up. Unless any of you guys have an idea of something that might happen that I could add another project. Anyways, okay, so Mallory gets a token of love. This is a Quaker I started ages ago, and I meant to be doing it for one of my South African aunts, and I just haven't, and I don't know when I'll be in South Africa again. But her son moved to America, my cousin, and so I could in theory send this to him, and he would be able to give it to his mom next time he sees her. It's my dad's youngest brother, his wife, and that uncle tragically passed away in a freak river accident where he got pulled through a pipe in the river and drowned. And he had two very young children and then a son that was like 18, 19 at the time. There was just a lot of years between them having their first child and then two more. So my cousin moved to it. Well, he first started working at the company his dad worked for, and he was really supporting the family financially. And then he moved to America because the pay was better, especially when you convert things to the South African rand from dollars. It's a really good exchange rate going in that direction. And So he's since met someone, they've gotten married, they've had 2 kids. But I've been intending this for that aunt for quite some time, and I just haven't worked on it. So I put this in here. I would really like to focus on it, buckle down, get it done. I have all the thread for it. It's just DMC, DMC 777, which is a really nice color. I don't think I have a cover picture. I think I just have like the pattern printed, so I can't show you guys. And honestly, I don't even remember what it looks like, but yeah, I need to put in some good progress on this. So Mallory, girl, let's get her done. Unfortunately, the oh, you guys can't even really see that, but it's stained. The DMC has stained the fabric a little bit, so I'm afraid to wash it because I think it's gonna bleed, but like, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so after that is another project for my husband that I would really like to get done by our next anniversary or the one after that, but for sure by the 10th anniversary, which is 3 years away. But I didn't give him a present this year. We were really bad about presents this year. He upgraded my computer, which was not initially meant to be an anniversary present, but it's what happened. And yeah, we were just, I don't know, 7 years, maybe. That's just how it is. But anyways, it's called Love You Always, and it's 2 birds on a branch, and it says, loved you yesterday, love you still, always have, always will. So I put this in here because it needs work. I did grid this one using Sulky, so that was a while ago. Because I don't even know where my Sulky is. And I have not done that in ages. It's a Bucilic. I also put masking tape around the edges of the fabric. So yeah, this was forever ago that I did this. Interesting life choices sometimes. So I was working on border. So, yeah. And it's not very big. Like, it shouldn't take very long. I just need to do it. Okay, so that was Melody. Just making sure I put them back in the right place. The next one is Rick, and I assigned him Stone Cottage. This is this is the mystery Haid that I signed up for. They sent the whole chart in one go, and so I kind of lost a little focus and interest. I don't know. I've only done 400 stitches, so. And when I did those, I was doing the Royal Rose. So I've done 2 complete 100 by 100 blocks. If it lets you get closer, you can see, well, in person you can see some better like definition, but anyways, I'll probably try to finish off the parked threads and then switch this one over to typewriter method. I just like having to not get up and change colors so often. I don't know. Okay, so the next one we have is this is the one with an explanation. There is a guy named Jack who goes by Rome. And so this one is a new start for me. And that is afternoon in Rome. So hence you can see why I chose this one for this person. It is on the same fabric as my afternoon in Paris, which I am doing sneak peek for those that this is my France project. So here's where I have gotten to on that, and it is very nearly finished. So there's like a chair and table here, some air balloons. I mean, it's like probably this much wide. But anyways, okay. So France may get me there, or I will just have to finish it out. But on the bottom half of this fabric over there, I am putting afternoon in Rome, and that was always my plan. I also have afternoon in New York, and I already stitched and finished afternoon in London. Unfortunately, doing it this way was just a little, like it would only have been like a 1/2 inch border, but I would have loved if I could have fit all 4 of them stacked on this one fabric, but unfortunately cannot. And if I had stitched this one a little higher up, I could have fit the 3 stacked. But I would have preferred like all 4 of them stacked, so I decided not to do that. And these will probably instead be made into cross-stitch project bags, where I'll put fabric above and below, and then a backing fabric with a zipper on top is what I am leaning towards with these projects. So anyways, this will be a new start for Rome. The first time I have to stitch for him. Oops. And I did put a needle there marking the starting spot. I already measured that and everything. So yeah, pretty happy about that. And I've already done the France stitches until their next game. Okay. 2 more. We have Taylor, and I think it's a girl, Taylor. And I assigned her, well, the wheel did, One Nation by Bygone Stitches. Now, I am considering moving this to Chuck, Cowboy Chuck, and moving Minnie Jane to Taylor. I am debating making that switch. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. We're going to do it. Okay. So this one was assigned to Taylor, and I will still put Taylor's picture here if I end up doing that. But it will be now for Chuck. I'm going to erase that and just make that change. Just because, I mean, he's a cowboy. He needs something like that. He is not a Minnie Jane. Not saying that Taylor is necessarily a Minnie Jane, but like, she kind of gave princess vibes. Minnie Jane for Taylor, and One Nation for Chuck. So I'll have to swap those in the bags as well. But anyway, okay, so let me show you guys where I'm at. I still need to do all of these stars. I have done 1. And then I wanted a change of pace, so I decided to start the stripes. And I think I finished the whole first stripe. But so, I cannot see it all. Here's where we are at. And yeah, I am just using DMC on this. Sometimes I wish I'd gotten the fancy floss. At the time, I could not afford that much fancy floss. And I was like, I'm putting it on a fancy fabric. I don't want to detract from that. And I do really love this fabric and how it looks on it. So, you know, sometimes I regret that it's not in the fancier floss. The other times I'm like, it looks good, especially that blue. I think that's a great blue. So, it is what it is. Okay, so let me quickly put you over here and bring you out over here to put into Taylor's spot. Okay. Which brings us to the last project, which is Yash Sanctuary of Stitching. This was the bonus chart that got sent to everyone who signed up for the Heaven and Earth Stitch Along. It's the Amy Stewart one. And as soon as I saw it, I special ordered fabric for it. I mean, this I think it's super size max color. I think that's the version I was like, yes, super size max color. Oh man. So I have very barely started it. Let me I do not have the color cover photo. I will try to put it up if I'm not being lazy. But here is my very brief start on it. And I do have one dangling thread. So I know that I started this one to do it the typewriter method. So I'm picking the symbols and then working down. And as it makes sense, I go into the next column. But I work until I run out of thread, is what I do. So that is Sanctuary of Stitches from Amy Stewart, designed by Heaven and Earth Design. And that is my 17 projects for Big Brother stitching. I'm going to quickly go get the frosty one that I've been telling you guys about, just to show you what I keep debating switching. And then you guys can tell me if I should or shouldn't. Okay, be right back. Okay, I actually brought over two. These are the two I debate the most putting in. There are a few others. Oh my gosh. I want to get back to my full coverages. But, okay, this is So Many Books, So Little Time, Max Color. This is obviously black and white, but isn't that so cute? And I have it on 28 count easy grid fabric. I have since discovered I prefer 25 count 1/1, but I'm not starting this for like a third time, possibly fourth. So I'm, to be honest, I don't even know, okay, I want to show you guys. Okay, so looking at this, I would have assumed that I was doing the Royal Rose. But then there's all of this gray stitching here. So what was I doing? Maybe I decided I didn't want to do Royal Rose and then I was just stitching. Anyways, so if I were to add this one in, I would finish filling using these parked threads. Oh, you know what I sometimes do is do block by block diagonal. So I may have been doing that. I don't know. It still doesn't explain why I decided to do all of this gray chunk of stitching here. It's not focusing. I don't know. Anyways, I love this pattern. It's just very confetti heavy. So, but tell me if you think I should add that. But this is the one that I kept looking at. And I don't know why. I haven't thought about this pattern in ages. But this is Frosty. Just makes me think maybe of Sammy. Not positive. And I know this is 28 count because it's smaller than the 25. And I was apparently decided to try to do diagonal. Like not by square, but actual diagonal. I don't like diagonal for myself. But that's where it's at. So it would be easy to just quickly mark this up in and slip it in. And I'm very tempted to do that because I'd forgotten about this project and I really do. That dog is so cute. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. And if I do put it in, what project should I replace? My top contenders for replacement are probably the Linens and Thread Mystery Sampler, Advent Animals, Storytime Sal, Wonderland. Those 4 are my top contenders for switching. I might bring another couple to show you guys, and then you guys can tell me what I should do in the comments. If those are for people that didn't have anything done, then I think there's still time to change the project. So let me just go get a couple more to show you guys real quick. I probably should do a whip parade at some point, but this is already over an hour and I have barely scraped the surface. Okay, I'm back with 3 more. So tell me if you think any of these should alternate for any of the ones that I have in there, because I'm kind of in a full coverage mode right now. Okay, I wanted to show you guys the color one of Frosty because I only showed you the black and white. So I'm in my Dropbox, so I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit. But here's Frosty. Isn't it so cute? If you like zoom in, you can see that there's like pinks in the background too, so it's not just plain. But anyways, okay, so that is Frosty that I'm contemplating swapping out. Then we have So Many Books, QRS, so many books. This is what that will look like in color. Then the next one I have to share with you is a supersized max color of Once Upon a Fairy Tale Bookshelf from Amy Stewart. So that's what it will look like when done. And here, oops, is my start on that. So it's clearly still a lot to do, but that was my start on that. The next one we have is Window with a View. Window with a View. This is a max color version. And I love how that one looks. Like, I really love that one. And this one, I think I was doing cross country by the page. I don't know. I want to switch it. But here's what I done, which for me is not bad actually. That's quite a bit of progress. But so that is window with a view. And then the final option to add in is the astronomer, which let me show you guys that one. The astronomer. And I love how this looks. Oh, I love that. And, oops, I did not have a big start on this. It's on 18 count fabric. Oh. That is my start on that. And I think I was doing this like the stair step method. But okay, so let me know if I should put those ones in, and if so, which ones do I take out? Again, the ones I'm leaning the most towards taking out are honestly the Advent Animals, the Storytime Sal, Wonderland, Linens and Things. And I mean, if I had to take a fifth one out, I'd probably take out the Circus Sal. It's cute, but it just hasn't been calling to me. And these 5 kind of are. So anyways, tell me what I should do. Please, someone tell me what to do. But the reason I wanted to film this is because I wanted to, like, the head of household's been chosen. It hasn't aired on TV yet, but I saw the spoiler on Wikipedia and things like that. And so, which is why I randomized where projects went, because I didn't want any bias. But just, I need you guys to tell me what to do. Should I swap those in, take out the ones that I'm just kind of like, you need to make progress on these, and just fit them in elsewhere at other times of the year? Let me know what you think I should do. Okay, bye. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And if you stuck along this long, you're a rock star. So, bye, you guys.